Real drums or EZdrummer? Now that's a debate that goes on back and forth online and all that stuff. And some people will say that real drums, the real drummer is the only way to get amazing sounding drums. And to be honest, I love the process of recording drums with setting up the mics, getting the sounds and all that stuff. Absolutely love it. However, if you're recording your own songs or even just writing your own songs in your home studio, EZdrummer is an amazing tool to help you get drums that sound great onto your recording and in your song. So today I'm talking about 5 reasons why EZdrummer is better than real drums. All right, real quick before we get started, in the comment section below, let me know which of these 5 reasons is your favorite for using EZdrummer. Or maybe you have another reason you like EZdrummer so much. Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you hate EZdrummer or any drum software and thinks it's just dumb or stupid or whatever, and you only record real drums, let me know that as well and why it is that you think that real drums are better than EZdrummer. Happy to hear that. And make sure you hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I got more videos coming out all the time about recording at home in your home studio and songwriting and all that. So, all right, here we go. Reason number 1 why EZdrummer is better than real drums is that you can record drums anytime you want to. It could be daytime, it could be nighttime. You can live in an apartment, you can live in a house, it doesn't matter. It could be 2 a.m. on a Saturday or it could be 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter. With headphones, it's completely silent for everybody else, so you're not going to bother anybody. If you do it through studio monitors, if that's how you listen back, typically, like what I do, it's not completely silent, but it's not nearly as loud as real drums either. If you have a buddy who will record drums for free for you and he's really good and all that stuff, and that's great, but then you got to schedule a time and maybe they're not available till 2 or 3 weeks from now, and then things come up and all that stuff. Or, you know, hire a session player, which is nothing wrong with that, but then that costs money. And then you still got to work out the schedule with them and all that. So they may be booked up for a while. Who knows? But with EZdrummer, the great thing is you can just put down tracks whenever you want to. So reason number 2 why EZdrummer is better than real drums is because you just have a lot of different kind of drum kits to choose from that fit a lot of different genres and styles. So let's take a quick look inside the software here. So I have EZdrummer pulled up here in my DAW. I'm using Studio One, and this is the default kit that comes with EZdrummer, and I think it's a pretty good kit. Sometimes I just use this one. All right, good sounding kit. But there's also a bunch of other ones. You know, I have Americana. This one's kind of cool. It's got a lot of character to it. You know, different sound than the standard one. I don't use this one very often, but this one has definitely got a lot of options. And it sounds completely different than Americana and all that stuff. So you got all these options here. I have a folk one, Nashville, you know, pop punk. This one's kind of for hard rock stuff, classic rock, all that stuff. And then if you go to their website, you have all these others here. This one is for like doing action movie kind of stuff. You got big band, and they have jazz over here, and you know, a bunch of different kind of metal ones and hard rock, Latin percussion, southern soul, vintage rock, UK pop, reggae, you know, you name it, they got just about everything. There's blues, traditional country, so tons of different options to choose from. So whether maybe you play or write a bunch of different styles, that could be, and that's kind of like where I am. I like this because I can have different options. Or maybe, you know, a lot of other manufacturers just focus on metal or whatever, and you do traditional country, and so you need a traditional country sounding kit. EZdrummer has that available to you. So that's number 2 reason why EZdrummer is better than real drums, is you just have a lot of different options and sounds available to you through different drum kits. All right, so reason number 3 why EZdrummer is better than real drums is similar to reason number 2. Reason number 3 is there are lots of different MIDI files in bundles that you can buy that cover a ton of different genres. And they're played by session players, or at the very least, like some of the metal ones are played by drummers that are in known metal bands, like in that kind of genre. So they play the files, but they're played by professional drummers. So let's take a look at some of these MIDI files. So again, if you look at the ones that I have, down here are the files that come with the kits that I've purchased. These are the ones that come with EZdrummer. And then these are the add-on packs. These are extras that I've bought separately. So within these, or there are also plenty of other MIDI packs that are available, there's going to be something that's going to fit what I'm looking for, or at least close enough that I can tweak it a little bit if I have to. But the great thing about these, like I said, they're played by session drummers, and these MIDI files are not super quantized where they're just locked down to the exact grid. They retain the feel, so if a drummer is pushing the beat or laying back on the beat a little bit to give it that feel that a real drummer gives drum parts, it's retained in these MIDI files. So if you want to quantize them all the way down so they're, almost robotic, you can, but they don't come that way naturally. So one great example of this is if you go to their website, you can see here they have a MIDI pack where Kenny Aronoff played. He's American rock MIDI. And if you don't know who Kenny Aronoff is, he's a famous session drummer. He's been on a lot of records. Pretty well known. You see Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, Bon Jovi, Lenny Kravitz, Mick Jagger, and a bunch of other ones. You can find them all over YouTube. If you just search his name, he'll show up. But these are all played by him, so they have his feel, his style. So if that's what you're looking for, then you kind of have it right here. And so same goes for the other ones. If you're looking for some country stuff, you got some different country grooves. And I have a Roland TD3 electronic drum kit. And there are plenty of times that I will play parts from my kit into EZdrummer and I play the drums. And then I have to go in and tweak and clean it up, but I play the drums. But there are plenty of things that I can't play because I'm not really a drummer. I'm a guitar player. So these are really helpful because they're played better than I can play. Sometimes just technically I can't do all the things a lot of drummers can do, but also they maybe just have a better feel than what I can do. So all that's here, ready to go, ready for me to use, just click and all that stuff. And so that's reason number 3. There are just a ton of MIDI files available that cover a bunch of genres played by real drummers who are session players or otherwise associated with the genre. All right, so reason number 4 why EZdrummer is better than real drums is with EZdrummer, you can quickly lay down drums for your songwriting. So maybe you have an idea, you've been playing around a guitar or singing a melody and you have an idea and you don't want to forget it, you want to lay down tracks real fast or maybe kind of want to start fleshing out the song. It's great for that and also for songwriting inspiration. So let me kind of show you what I mean. So here we are again in EZdrummer with the default drum kit as before. Go to browser. Okay, so let's say we have like a song idea we've kind of been working with. We want to lay something down real quick before we forget it or whatever, or we have some time. We want to work through the song and get some basics down. So we decided Americana kit's going to probably work for now. It's going to be mid-tempo. It's just regular 4/4. And let's do a verse. And then you just, right? Straight 4/4. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take that MIDI file right there. That's just a verse. And I'll just duplicate that out for 5 minutes. And that works great. Super quick, super easy. Another thing you can do is if you kind of have an idea of a song structure you may use, or you have one that's kind of your go-to and all that stuff, you can use Song Creator here. And then you pull this up. It gives you different song structures that you can use. So let's say I know I want verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. Very standard song structure. So I'm going to use that one. Drag that out. Boom, I have that all right here. You can do some editing and some changing some stuff up on this if you want to. But since we're trying to get something laid down real quick, we just drag all this over here like that. And now we have in our drum tracks, we have an entire song arrangement with choruses, a bridge, and everything ready to go so we can start laying stuff down and fleshing out the rest of the parts. So super cool, very fast. As I also mentioned, you can use it for inspiration for songs, or even just kind of stretching your songwriting muscles. So one thing I like to do is just put on something completely out of my normal comfort zone. This Americana 4/4 straight thing, that's pretty straightforward for me. That's kind of my bread and butter comfort zone. But if I wanted to do something different, I would maybe come over here and straight 4/4 here. We're going to stick with that. But let's do something like this. One's Latin touch. It's got a little different feel here. Right? So that is definitely out of my comfort zone, but you know, I could try to figure out a way to write a song to that. And what that does is that kind of just forces me to think differently, to come up with different creative solutions, maybe different chord progressions, or even learn some new chord progressions that sound more Latin that would fit with this, you know? So it just kind of helps build your skill set and all that kind of stuff. So I do that a lot too. And you know, you don't have to save these songs, don't have to put them out there on Spotify or anything. These are just kind of exercises to go through. And so EZdrummer is a great tool for that. And of course, you could build out the whole song structure if you wanted to also, just like we did with the Americana stuff. So you have a whole song that you got to write and all that stuff. So it's just a great option for that. And with real drums, you can't really do that because you'd have to have someone else here or be able to play them, or a lot of setup. And EZdrummer, you just go. So reason number 4 why EZdrummer is better than real drums, it's a quick way to start writing songs, and it's a great tool for songwriting inspiration. And reason number 5 why EZdrummer is better than real drums is that these are professionally recorded with drum kits that I don't have access to, and studios I don't have access to, with gear that I don't have access to, including microphones and stuff, and engineers, producers, and drummers that I don't have access to. Top tier kind of people. And so while I can get great sounding drums in my home studio, it's still my home studio. These are recorded a lot of times in very famous studios, and a lot of the drum sound from a lot of these recordings you hear and stuff are the room that the drums are recorded in. There, a lot of times when albums are recorded, they pick a studio based on the room for the drums. That happens a lot. So for example, I have the Nashville kit in my EZdrummer software, and that was recorded at the Sound Kitchen here in Nashville. That was one of my first jobs when I moved to Nashville back in the day. I worked at the Sound Kitchen, and so many huge country and Christian albums come out of the Sound Kitchen. But now I have drum kits recorded at the Sound Kitchen with their gear, and I have that sound available to me right here. I don't have to go spend $2,000 or whatever it is a day to rent out the studio. So that's awesome. And one of my favorite examples of this, we take a look here at their website. Right here's the Southern Soul. I don't have this kit yet, but I do plan on getting it. It was recorded at Fame Studios. And if you don't know, Fame Studios was huge for the 60s sound and all that stuff. There's just a bunch of albums that have come out of there, and they have this very particular sound, and this definitely has it. And so it's just really cool as someone who loves to record and all that. They got all these, you know, the making of stuff on here. You can go and watch how they made it, how they mic'd up the drums and all that stuff, and all the thought and the gear that went into it. You know, they had a 1959 Ludwig kit. You know, it's like period correct and all that stuff. They got one of the guys that was a session player there. They called, you know, they're known as the Swampers. They had him there to kind of help, you know, say, yeah, this is how we set up drums. This is where we set the microphones. It's kind of how we did this and that. So they could get as close to that Fame studio drum sound as possible. It's just really cool. If you get a chance to watch these making of videos, super awesome. Of course, Netflix has the Muscle Shoals documentary on there, which is an excellent watch if you haven't before. So that's reason number 5 why EZdrummer is better than real drums. Is because you have right here in software easy access to all these drums that are professionally recorded with inside studios you probably don't have access to, with engineers and producers and drummers you probably don't have access to, with microphones you may not have access to. and all that stuff is just all right here for you to have. You can still record live drums in your home studio if you want and get great sounds. I've done it multiple times, but here's just an easy option. Click of a mouse. You can have your drums recorded at the Sound Kitchen or Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals or any of the other studios they go to. So pretty cool. So is EZdrummer really better than real drums? Like a lot of things in life, that depends. But for those of us who have home studios where we're recording our own songs or writing our songs at least in our studio, especially if you're limited on space and money and all that, EZdrummer is certainly a great option with a lot of advantages. It's not that expensive, especially if you catch it on sale in the add-on packs. There's always Black Friday sales and typically summer sales and stuff like that. So it's not that expensive. Obviously takes up no room and all that. So for those of us who have home studios, I'm going to say EZdrummer is definitely a great option. So again, in the comment section below, let me know which of these were your favorite reasons. If you have another reason why you love EZdrummer or similar drum software, let me know that as well. And if you hate EZdrummer and only record real drums, let me know as well. And as always, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I got more videos coming out about recording in the home studio, songwriting, and all that. And also, if you're wanting to build out your own home recording studio, or maybe you're in the process of doing that, or maybe you already have one, make sure you check out my free guide, The Real World Home Recording Studio Checklist. I'll leave a link in the description down below, but it just goes through 10 things you're going to need to build out your studio, some things to think about, kind of how to budget, where to spend some money, where to maybe save some money, and kind of just find that balance to make sure you have the things you need to get the best recordings possible. So again, the link is in the description below. It's the Real World Home Recording Studio Checklist. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.